Well, the red above and to the left of the black spot will go into that same pocket that the black's going to be potted into here. So it's landing behind it. He wouldn't have minded been a bit low on the cue ball there, so he could have
17.
driven it into the reds in potting the red. But I don't think now he has any angle of that kind. So it's going to have to be a forcing shot on the black, arcing the cue ball from left to right into the reds that haven't really moved, so probably no further here with this break, unless he can just get through to that red out in the open on the right. He'd be a bit lucky if he is on that one. Well, he seemed determined to try and keep the break going, but he almost got closer to a treble than a double there. Could be Lisowski plays a double into the opposite middle. That wasn't all that close either.
Ryan Evans has pulled one back against Tom Ford. It's 2-1 now to Ford, the of course, reigning shootout champion. And Sergio Away's had a century to lead 3-0 against Jackson Page. So it's clearly something about Wuhan that he enjoys. Of course, he played so well against Trump in that semi-final last year. The maximum was just outstanding. Couldn't quite reproduce it, though, in the final against Shanghai. Gary Wilson, 3-1 up on Sean Murphy. The Higgins interview was interesting, wasn't it, in terms of struggling for motivation, because I saw Gary Wilson at the Championship League, first tournament of the season, and he was saying he was really down on his game, he was struggling, the yips had crept in, and he said, don't expect big things from me, but sometimes you just need just a few results, and he seems to be getting them this week, and then all is well again. Such a mentally demanding game, snooker. You go through these peaks and troughs, but Chad Trump, in a way, that's why he's been so successful. He just seems able to approach every tournament the same, just try and win them.
Touching ball.
It's touching ball, but I'm not sure whether that stops him getting through to this red. And the answer is no, it didn't. Yeah, I mean, the season is long, isn't it? And here we are, we're in August, you know, we're in August, and there's been a lot of snooker played, so there's more time to have these peaks and troughs, I guess. And yeah, previously, the season many years ago probably wouldn't have started again until September. But there's a lot of snooker being played. We've had all these 147s already. We're not even in September yet. So, you know, it is a long season. You're not going to play well all the way through it, I suppose. This has got to be made to count, this visit. You're not getting lots of chances, but if he is going to compete in this match, then here and now is where he's got to start to get frames on the board. He's got to get points on the board. Prior to that, of course,
15.
I was going to say he's got to dig in, but it's not really something he does, Lisowski. He's not really a dig-in sort of a player.
16.
Mark Allen 3-1 at the interval over Hossein Bafai. He's had breaks of 89 and 71 there, Alan.
That is a beautiful shot. The bunch were very tightly grouped, and the cue ball could have been lost to the side cushion or grazed off them and gone up the table, but he really played it well. Bit of a calculated risk, hitting that red. He felt he would be on the pink, so that's opened up even more reds.
Thirty. 31. 38.
Shazing Tong has levelled up at 2-2 with Steve Maguire at their interval.
39.
Oh, he's not perfect on the red here at all. Potting the red and controlling the cue ball, both quite difficult to achieve from here. Extension on the cue and the rest. Done pretty well. He's on the black, fairly thin contact.
47.
So this, as I said earlier, you know, it feels a very important point in the match. It's slipping away from him unless he can win the frame here, I think.
$54. 55.
I'm not sure that's a particularly good shot. Now he's very straight on this black. That's not a good shot on the previous one. I mean, I don't know how he could have got close to a red from the angle that he had on that black ball. And now you see, I mean, he missed a blue into that pocket in an earlier frame, which was a lot easier than this. Same sort of a shot, but further away, this one. Ah, brilliant.
63.
So another red is going to be needed here. He's obviously not going to be the one behind the pink. Trump's got just a glimmer of hope. Can only really play a feel on the right-hand red, unless he plays to cannon the red by the pink out, but that's risky. Yeah, I think he's done well to avoid trying that. not the perfect kiss.
65.
No, so not over yet. That was frame ball. Just felt harder to keep it going. So 36 in front, still 43 on.
Well, you feel that if the red is sort of buried in behind the pink and doesn't go anywhere, then Lisowski is not going to want to move that, because that is the one way back into the frame for Trump. You see the problem he's got. Again, he just doesn't really want to take the red away from the pink under any circumstances. So I think he's done the right thing. It's a pretty good shot, that, I'd say. Yeah, that's very good. Gave it some thought and delivered the goods.
Well, he did develop the red, but of course he's left this one, which is all Lisowski needs to pull one back.
1.
Not taking any chances,
Get
playing the
Lisowski,
snooker.
1.
Yeah, but it was an important frame, and it looks like he's going to win it. We'll see what happens here with Trump if he hits it and
Foul. Lisowski.
stays in the frame. But now it's a couple of snookers, so the match is very much alive. Just when it looked like Trump was getting on top.
Yeah, I mean, Lisowski before the interval, he made a few errors. As I said at the time, if he can tighten up, then of course he can still win. And he's won this frame. He's played a much better frame here.
8. 10. 13. 17.
Couldn't see a lot more of the blue than the potting angle there.
22.
Yeah, I mean, the match certainly needed Lisowski to win this frame.
And that's exactly what he's done.
Jelly
So Jack
something
Lisowski
comes
pulls
to
one
any
back, an important one to win, clearly, to stay in touch. So Judd Trump now leads 3-2. 3-2 then. Judd Trump still in front, but only by one. Lisowski winning frame 5. It's best of 9 for a place in the last 16 of the Wuhan Open. This is the third ranking event of the season. Stephen Maguire, who won the first, the Championship League, is 2 each with Zhao Xingtong on table 2. Of course, Neil Robertson and Ronnie O'Sullivan contested the final of the second, the Saudi Arabia Masters. Both then withdrew from this tournament. Tepchara Nu, meantime, 4-1 up now against Scott Donaldson. So typically not hanging about there.
One.
Nice shot, well played, and the cue ball did not go all the way into baulk, crucially, which makes you wonder, he probably fancied the pot a little bit, and now he's got the first go at this table. Things would get very interesting if he could compile a big break here and win this frame swiftly. And we know he's capable of all of those things.
5. $12.
It's a good shot. He's always knew that he had that red on the left to back him up. But he really executed the shot well. Played the black with a lot of control for a shot going into the side of the bunch. He knew exactly what was going to happen there. Very good. Just got to back it up, though, with this next pot. Slightly awkward cueing. He should pot this red to middle, but it's a big one, actually, because he's got a little bit of momentum here. He's going nicely. He just won the previous frame and he's in first here, so he's on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, it's one of the things you've got to say about him. He's always trying to play the positive game. He's always on the attack. Doesn't go into his shell. Here again, trying to get things moving. Hasn't quite worked out, though.
No, the bunch were opened up a little bit already. And it's going to have to be a red to left middle, I think. But, I mean, it looks horribly dangerous. Because the cue ball, if he does play it, it looks to be going into the top side of the reds. But if he doesn't try and pot that, what else can he play? Unless he decides to play safe. This is very difficult.
He was tough. Again, he's tried to keep it going, but it was a bit do or die, really, that shot.
Combination of the pot not being easy, but also the cue ball going into the side of the reds, which means you've got to play it with a degree more pace to try and get out of that middle of the table. Everything pointed to him missing it, really. It looks at something of a natural. If he plays his blue, he's going to go very close to hitting the yellow, or hit it. I don't see how he can avoid it by much, if at all. He just got to the left of it. That's a good shot. If he played it with any more pace, he'd have hit it.
6.
So a little bit of a reversal here. All of a sudden it's trumping with a chance. These could have been Lisowski's. Well, if the red is as tight as what he thinks it is, surely he's got to play the other red, the one that he can clearly get to. It looked tight on that shot, didn't it, the player view?
I'm loath to say this, but Jackson Page has potted 6 reds, 6 blacks against Sergio Way. I mention it, of course, because Jackson was the man who made the 2 in the World Qualifying last season to become the first player to make 2 in a match. Of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan subsequently did that a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, there are players on the tour who aren't necessarily the very best players in the world. And Jackson Page is one of them that can knock in these huge breaks. Bingham is another one who makes 147s, of course he's been world champion. But there are certain players who just knock in massive breaks. Recently retired Anthony Hamilton was someone that wasn't necessarily 147s, but big breaks were his forte through his career.
Well, we can stand down because Jackson's broken down on 56.
He'll make one soon, I reckon. But the break's going to end here. Completely in no man's land with this. So Lisowski can breathe a sigh of relief. It's a bigger frame than ever. I know we always say that in snooker, but you know, to get to 3-all would really help him, because he looks to be playing as well as Trump, but not necessarily winning the crucial moments. He'd have to win one here.
Jack Trump, 13.
That, however, is a very well played shot from Trump.
Foul and a miss. Jack Trump, 4. Back.
So once again, the 2-cushion glance, as often is the case, not got the first time. Ah, brilliant. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get the other side of the shot, overcompensate and crash into all the reds. That's no good. You'd rather give 4 or 8 or even 12 points away in trying to get the thinnest of edges.
One.
Well, it was a terrific initial red from Trump. I know Lisowski didn't quite get the safety as
8.
intended, but still needed potting. Was likely to leave something if he missed it. So he's in. Let's see how far he gets here. He certainly won't take Lisowski for granted. Not a chance. He's practiced with him many times.
9.
Good friends with him. Knows how good he is and what he's capable of. I'm sure as well he will have given him advice, but on occasions like today, that goes out the window, of course.
16. 17.
Not as straightforward as it looks, this, because nothing pops to the left corner from over on the right side. He might have to just screw into something here and try and nudge into a red or two. I think he did try and nudge that red directly below the pink spot.
24.
Is he on one? No, he didn't look all that confident that he is. Could possibly use a trace of left-hand side and straighten this up, but it doesn't go with natural cueing. So, just when you felt that he was getting this frame
Start Trump.
on the
24.
board and going within one, as I say, that previous shot was not straightforward, but he didn't get the contact on a red from the black. It's where his concentration's got to be good, Lisowski. He's got to be ready for this moment. May not have expected to come back to the table, this frame. That's a good shot. The right-hand red of the three is going to be moved.
8.
There's no reason why he shouldn't capitalise fully on that mistake from Trump now. Not in this frame. What a chance.
Yeah, these are the moments, the key moments of matches, aren't they? When one player will feel they should have won the frame, the other gets the chance to steal it.
16. 17. 24. 25.
Yes, he might have felt that
33.
he wanted to get the blue back away from that corner of the table on its spot, because the green might not pass it very easily into its own pocket. So it's much better the blue on its spot. He's just got to watch the pace on this shot, though. Cue ball's travelling off the cushion and back up for the yellow. He's got to get it right. That's fine. Fractionally short of pace, but still enough room there. Difference is 23, so yellow and green.
38.
He's got to just drop this in. Just took an extra feather there, just the way he was addressing the cue ball. He took a fraction longer, as if he just didn't feel quite right on the shot. He's missed one or two into that pocket. Trump can only tie. And he might have done better with that shot. Well, a lot depends if can he get through to this to pot it. If he can, you know, we could be looking at a respotted black here. Because from that left side,
Great.
Judd, as a left-handed player, could roll that pink down the cushion. So the frame is still alive when it looks over. Yep, he can drop in behind it now. So if he can get the positional side of this bang on, you'd fancy him strongly to pot the pink and black from there. It's a bit close to it, isn't he? In the end, it's okay, but a little close for comfort.
Well, no, it really is a big frame. Felt it anyway, but Lisowski unable to kill it off. Missed that green. Trump needs the black, and it's a respot finish to frame 6. He makes the clearance, so the black comes back on. Big, big moments now here in Wuhan.
Who would like to call? Head. Head you choose? You break. Or he break. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there was a school of thought. I think Sean Murphy always thought that it was an advantage to break off, but I don't see anybody winning the toss and opting to break. I think it's a little bit of a myth. I know the shot is always played like this. Don't know if he's got the chance for the double, cocked hat double to right middle here. Sometimes you might see that played from this position. He's certainly tried it. Oh, that was a great effort, but it might cost him the frame. Tension is mounting.
He got so close to that, didn't he? But now Lisowski just needs one nice piece of cue in here. And after all that, it will be level. In it goes. What a finish to frame 6. And it is Jack Lisowski who knocks in the respotted black to level up at 3-3. Well, Judd Trump and Jack Lisowski, they do bring entertainment, don't they? And we've had a pretty thrilling finish to this previous frame. This was the attempt at what they call the cock tap double, round into the middle pocket. Nearly got it, didn't he?
I mean, most of the time players play that thinking that the ball will go pretty safe. I mean, had he just gone further than that top jaw, it'd have probably gone to the bolt cushion. But it's quite an unusual outcome for that shot to leave it to the opposite middle pocket. But somehow he won the frame, but it was a bit of a scramble in the end. It should never have been that tight.
Yeah, exactly. He had chances before that to win it. Of course, Mr. Green anyway, he has won it. And when he returns, we've set up for a bit of a best of three. Just a couple of other scores while we wait. So we've got Mark Allen 3-1 up on the same for Fai. John Higgins 3-1 over Yuan Sijun. 4-2 Gary Wilson over Sean Murphy.
Frame 7, Judd Trump to break.
So Trump was 3-1 up, seemingly in control, but things have turned round. It's 3-3. Very early in the season. This is only the third tournament Trump's played in, but of course he was defending champion in the first two, in Shanghai and also the Saudi Masters, and in those tournaments only won one match, so he's looking to get his campaign going. Problem with Trump, and it's a good problem to have, is his record has been so good the last few years that of course he's judged on it. So if he goes 4 or 5 tournaments, you know, without sort of reaching a final, then suddenly sort of whispers start, don't they? What's wrong with him? Well, what's wrong with him there? He's not played that well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him play a lot better and look a lot sharper than he has today. I mean, he still might win the match and might win this week, because he usually won when he gets towards the weekend of an event, final stages. He, you know, that's when you see him at his best. Say a weekend, of course, the semi-finals are Friday. In this tournament, it finishes on Saturday, so it's slightly different plan to usual. It's not a Sunday final this year. But if he's there at the business end, you know, he's going to be tough to beat.
Well, he wasn't punished there for the safety error. Lisowski unable to get on the colour.
That little flick on the yellow made things awkward. He can't get to the bunch now, or the edge of the bunch. I mean, he might be able to drop into the pack, but he doesn't really want to be playing that, but he might be the only option he has. Just to drop into the top side of the bunch, almost dead bat it. That's what he's trying. Got to believe in the table, not rolling off.
Chasing Tom, meanwhile, has gone 3-2 up on Steve Maguire, and Tom Ford 4-1 over Ryan Evans. Mark Allen still 3-1 over Hossein Bafai. And Tepchara Nu 4-2 over Scott Donaldson. Serge Olway 3-2 over Jackson Page. They're the other scores. The whole of the last 32 being played to date. Massive month of snooker, isn't it? August. I mentioned obviously Shanghai. That was a big event. Saudi. This is 140,000 to the winner. Ooh. Well, could have been worse. Just got the rattle there, but it's okay. Well, that's certainly safe. Yeah, it's a fascinating match now, this. Could have been so different, of course, had Trump won that respot. 4-2, you fancy him strongly, but now it's a real nervy one, I think.
Well, it's fine margins because the cocked out double went just about all round the middle pocket, didn't it? And then all of a sudden, as you say, it's 2 up. Talking about a millimetre or 2 difference in how shots end up, really.
Yeah, and then you have to try and clear your mind and just get on with the next frame. And I think Trump is good at doing that. Just concern here is the reds are all sort of, quite a few of them in open play. He doesn't want to slide off the bunch and leave one on. That's what he's just sort of working out here.
Well, he'd like to just drop off the right-hand cushion onto the bottom red, but there's a red along the cushion that goes to the left corner. That's the problem. So even that shot's not easy to play. So you don't see him shake his head very often. It suggests he really does not see a shot. If he could really lay up to that bottom red, then he probably wouldn't leave anything else, but he'd have to get the pace absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, how often does Trump take 2 minutes on a shot? Tells you it's tricky.
I mean, this is red all along he was looking at, but he really has to get this dead right. He's not reached. I can see exactly what he's thinking. Just lay on it completely. You've got to get the pace right anyway on those shots, but more so than ever when you're worried about leaving the red below the black spot to the opposite corner. It's basically got to land it up against the red. He got very close, didn't he, on that last shot? It was only a couple of millimetres out. And the first go was closer, and surely Lisowski comes around and looks at the red now. The one that Judd was so fearful of leaving.
Well, again, fine margins. If that goes in, he's away. As it is, stayed on the lip. It's got tense, hasn't it? Understandably, after the way the last frame finished, and indeed to make it level.
That was quite a good shot. He didn't look much, but he didn't have an angle on the red, but he forced it, stunning right-hand side, and took the cue ball up for the pink. But as Dave said, it's got tense, so here you have to build almost very slowly, see how far you can take this break. Obviously the red over the pocket is helping him in some ways, but he'd like to shift it so that he can get the black on its spot and bring that into the game as well. So he'll be playing on that red over the pocket sooner rather than later, you feel.
13.
Might just play on the pink or black here into that right corner.
20.
Got to make the most of this chance because it's a pretty good one. See that bottom red also goes, so he's slowly but surely building to a point where he might end up 1 up with 2 to play.
26.
Things have got a little nervy, so it's a good time to really compose yourself and not rush into shots. He knows all that.
27.
Yeah, very often a right-handed shot this for Judd, leaning across.
Noticeable, he's really taking care, as you say, so important at this point in the match.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just an appreciation and an understanding that you are under a little bit of pressure and you can't just go on as if nothing's wrong and nothing's difficult. You have to take a bit longer. Also, you have to understand important junctures in a match, and certainly this is one.
Yeah, and this is where experience pays off because, of course, you know, all the tournaments he's won 30 ranking titles. He's not all been demolition jobs, far from it. There's been moments where he's really had to dig in. Last year in Saudi,
42.
first round 4-0 down to Uyiza. And indeed, in the decider against Mark Williams.
$50. $53.
So now he's got them where he wants them to kill this frame off. Really focused hard, hasn't he, here on this break, Judd Trump. Lisowski did have the initial chance, missed the red. Then the question was, could Trump step in and take full advantage? And this is why he's top of the rankings, isn't it? In moments like this in matches, making these breaks.
Absolutely. He's moved his game up a gear here. This break is important, and there's been an element of good control throughout it. Doesn't mean he's won the match, but he looks at the moment the more driven of the two, I think. But it's been enjoyable. Both players have played their part in what's been a very interesting match. On paper it was good, and it has been.
69.
Could yet go all the way, of course.
70.
This frame is over in favour of Judd Trump, world number 1.
Could so easily have stolen the last frame, but he wouldn't have known he'd lost it on a respot. Just refocused, reset,
77.
and he's made a terrific break here.
78.
100 exactly from Judd Trump.
100 in the frame.
He's back in front and he's won. So can Jack Lisowski fight back here and force the decider? Judd Trump with an excellent century.
Lisowski to break.
It was only last season, wasn't it? He made his 1,000th career century. He's already now 1,099. It was at the English Open, wasn't it, in Brentwood? So not even a year ago. We've had a couple of results. Tepchara Nu has beaten Scott Donaldson. And Tom Ford has beaten Ryan Evans. So they're the first two players through. 5-2 to Tepchara, 5-1 for Tom Ford.
It was a nice safety shot from Trump, swinging the cue ball round with left-hand side, taking the wide route round the angles. And there's always a red, isn't there, that you know that you should be able to avoid. It's almost like it's bigger than the width of it. On the way back, and he crashed into it full ball. The last thing right now he needed, that was. Well, without the black to help him, at the moment the pink buried at the top of the bunch. So, the balls at this stage are not easy. But of course, if you could get an angle on the blue and crash into the bunch, you could free up not only the reds but the high value colours as well. That's what you forget in these kind of situations. And there's no reason why he shouldn't, if he's got the angle, go into them, but I find that angle a bit straight, I think, for what he was looking for. Wanted the cue ball a bit further down the table. So now I'm not sure he can play into them unless he just plays on the bottom red. But still going into them from the blue will be the plan, but just not that time. Well, he can't avoid. I'm sure he can't avoid doing it this time. There is a red actually that goes to the left corner. But where's the future in it if the colour is not there? The only thing I would say, bunch, so he's going to do well to pot this, open the reds and be on a... He's played it well. That's probably the best shot of the break.
24. $25.
Yes, I think there wasn't a very big target to hit there. He needed to hit the pink full ball.
30.
I don't know where his next red's coming from. There might be one to the right middle, but it's a fiendishly bad angle. Going into the reds rather than away from the reds. You know, he might struggle to keep the break going here. I think he's going to have to play a safety shot, reluctantly. You can see how little he wants this break to end. He's facing the facts that he's got to play safe. And it's not a sign of weakness playing safe when you don't want to. What's worse is if you've taken a really ambitious shot on and miss it and leave your opponent in. You know, it's the pragmatic approach there he took. I'm assuming nothing on the left side goes into our left middle or top left pocket here. He's got to be very, very careful if he does take a pot onto the left corner. You know, you're talking about what could be his last shot if it goes wrong. Yeah, good decision, I think, there. Didn't like the pot. He knows he's treading on thin ice as far as this match is concerned. But either way, whether Lisowski's shot was a good one, it turned out not to be quite good enough. That was a brilliant shot to nothing ball. If he can cover all the reds from this roll up, then could win in the match. But there's a lot of reds to cover, and that is very well judged. So, yes, the pot has created the chance, but that was a good snooker.
Yeah, properly turning the screw. All the pressure now on this man, a shake of the head, you can understand it.
Could be one of those, what you used to call the Steve Maguire shot. He's on the other table, actually, but where you just basically hit and hope. But if you can't see a red that you can lay up to, you might fluke one. I don't think he's going that route. Looks like he might be going twice across.
Foul and a miss. Judgment 4.
But of course, that's why players do play that shot that Maguire seems to have done over the years, because you can just try and get out of the snooker and you can still leave one. You know, you can still leave one even if you do your best not to. So if all the balls are flying around the table, something goes in, then you're basically in with a sort of second lease of life. This is a hard shot that he's playing here. Just to drop into one of the two reds. Missed it again. And this will definitely go back this time, no doubt about it.
Just home 4.
You know, if he's not careful, he could give away quite a few points trying this one shot. He's a single red he's trying to hit.
Well, that's 3 attempts already, 12 points.
Just home 4.
Problem is, the reds you're trying to hit are not close to a cushion, so you're not exactly just snugly laying up to one, are you? That's the issue. Now, is there a plan B? Is there anything else he can do here? At the moment, it's just looking like the match is slipping away. It's not his fault. It's a difficult snooker.
Yeah, it was very nicely played from Trump, wasn't it? You know, it's so easy to misjudge that roll up from where he was.
Well, he's got the shot and well played. I say difficult snooker, of course, it's not difficult to hit a red, but it's not really the point, is it? You just can't hit any red. And that was actually a good shot in the end. It was worth those few points he gave away.
Well, Lisowski got over that hurdle eventually, but the pressure's still on here. At any moment, he knows 43 behind. He could be out the tournament.
In fairness to Lisowski, he's battling hard here. You know, he is. He's doing his best. You know, he got out of that snooker. He didn't take his frustration out just by hitting the balls. You know, he found a way out of that mess, and he played a good safety shot there. So he's still trying. Just needs another chance. Well, it may be that he has to go for a long one here. I don't see how he can shirk the issue this time. Something to the left corner. There's a number of options, none of which are easy. So he's now taking this one on. He wasn't close, was he? He was thinking about getting that cue ball away from all the action. That might be his last shot.
He certainly fears so. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, Jack does get his critics, doesn't he? And I think he's tried his best today. He's battled hard. He missed a couple of important balls, but, you know, even in this frame, I think he has tried to apply himself. I suppose you could argue that last red he missed, if he'd have played it full-bloodedly, rather than looking to escape, he may have got the pot. But, you know, you're playing Judd Trump here, the world #1, so it's never going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, when Trump, in his early years, was sort of known as a sort of flair player, naughty snooker, all of that. You could understand why he was pigeonholed as that. But what he's become is just a really, really hard player to beat. We saw his response to losing the respot in frame 6. He came out, he made a terrific century, really focused hard on that break. And now it's in his hands to get this one. Not that much more to do to put himself into the last 16.
Well, that's somewhere in between the shots he might have been looking to play. There are 75 points left on the table, so you know, red with just about any colour will do. And that includes the green.
22.
Still in between shots again, though, there. So he's, you know, he's on the brink of winning the match, but he's still got to pull out one more pot. And if he takes the brown on, he is coming down towards the reds. Adds a tiny bit of pressure to the shot, albeit the reds are spread everywhere. Well, this red goes in. This lights out.
26.
Yeah, this is Trump's other great skill as a recovery potter. I mean, the red and the brown were missable, but he's potted them. He's potted that red, and he's our winner. And in the end, he's dominated these two frames since Lisowski won that respot for 3-3. Judd Trump has stepped up his game. The first winner here, of course, 2 years ago. Stephen Hendry paid him a great compliment, and he would know better than anyone. He said when he started winning, he got greedy to win more. So that's why he's so well prepared for these tournaments. He wants to win as many trophies as he can. He doesn't settle for what he's already achieved, which is considerable.
40.
Well, that red yielded at the last moment. So it's going to be 8 wins in a row against his good friend. Stretching back now 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shot he missed. It looked bad, but he was trying to escape up the table, and that was his just about his last shot, wasn't it?
Judd Trump then completes victory over Jack Lisowski by 5 frames to 3. It was an entertaining match. Lisowski started with that total clearance in the first frame, won the respot for 3-3. After that, though, Judd Trump dominated, and the winner here 2 years ago advances to the last 16. But that is not it, because here on table 2, Stephen Maguire looks like he's about to force a decider. So great excitement on table 2 against Zhao Xingtong, of course, the world champion. Snooker's required here, so we're going to be going into a deciding frame finish. Maguire, he's a terrific pressure player full stop, but he's very good at applying pressure to opponents and very good in these moments as well. It's all going to come down to one last frame.
Yeah, I mean, the match has been pretty good, isn't it? I think it's got better as I've been keeping an eye on it, and there were a few mistakes made early on, but not so many in recent frames. Both players quite pumped up. Maguire, of course, always is. And Zhao Xingtong has started to warm to the task as well.
Yeah, from 3-2 to Zhao Xingtong. Maguire made 92. Zhao Xingtong's made 100. And here, Maguire on a break of 81. So, yeah, the scoring has really come in the last few frames.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real treat, isn't it, to see the deciding frame of this match, because, you know, great to see how Zhao Xingtong has come back and become world champion, but he's up against a pretty fiery individual who has beaten him on a couple of occasions. Won a ranking event this season as well, so it would be hard to say who is going to win the decider in this match.
Maguire going into it off the back of another great break here. If you look at his sort of ranking titles, there tend to be several years between them. There would be 5 years since the Tour Championship before he won the Championship League, but of course that was only a few weeks